What's up, guys? You know me. I love photography. I love history. The war, always the war, including the first one. Interesting. Of course, a Imperial War Museum. So this is a British, published work. So like, the magazine I had gone over, which like most of the magazines of Barnes and Noble, the British, it's mostly going to be biased towards the villains of World War One and Two, the Anglo Americans. Oh, I know a lot of people get mad at me saying that. Whatever, it's just my personal opinion. But regardless, it's interesting to see this time. Right, this is the dawn of the 20th century. A lot of interesting things in here. Very human, very funny, kind of like a very different look at the uh, the the, the Peloponnesian War of the White Races. And I like how the author, obviously the horrid, ghastly thing that was the First World War. But if you're looking for the horrors of war, you won't find them here, right? Quite rightly, the First World War is remembered as colossally and terribly destructive. But amid all the darkness, there was a light, right? So it's kind of like a funny taking the piss sort of thing, And it's the Germans. It's funny because now, like, the thing now is to have facial hair. Okay? But back then, that was the thing too. But like, they got the stoma. So anyway, we can start now. What is this? Who is that? Oh, who is? Oh, it's funny too, right? Like 1914 in Munich, right? The declaration of war. The war had begun. This man, yeah, he's thrilled. Everybody's thrilled, man. And it's like you're looking at it, and it's just like a jubilant crowd. They have no idea what's coming. Right? But interesting, man. That's some fun, man. Look at the lenses. They had awesome lenses back then. Look at that. Oh, come on. I always thought Kaiser. Well, doesn't he look like Mel Brooks a little bit? I'm just saying. I know. Anyway, I know. So now, interesting. I like how the British author describes Woodrow Wilson in the typical way that British people do. Wilson is like a noble. He's against war, but he wants to. There's no choice because of unrestricted warfare, right? Supposedly nothing to do with the Bank of England, right? And other stuff, Balfour. Anyway, but Wilson's portrayed as like this noble guy who wanted self determination in Europe, but the French and others wanted revenge instead of what he wanted. Okay, whereas at home, Wilson, ironically today, Wilson is hated for things that I don't fucking have a problem with. What I hate him for is the idea that he got us into the war, just like the others saying he did it, wouldn't want to. Also, the little known fact is that Wilson essentially turned America into a dictatorship. Within those war years, particularly in like 2-3 years, America was literally like something you would see in a dystopian, like science fiction, right? It can't happen here. It happened, okay? And you got to read about it, about what happened in America. But regardless, this is troops creating a commission by the government, a living photograph to boost morale, to make a face of this creepy schoolmarm like president we had. That's just fucking weird, man. You see, they always think that people back then everything was normal then. Man. People, man, you know what's happening underneath the scenes, man, which is where it's supposed to be. You get me? Anyway, now this is cool for some of us, right? The famous story of the Bowman. All right, Arthur Machen, who's a journalist at the time, when he was making money as a journalist. Arthur Machen, we know him. He had already published some of his great stuff already, Great God Pan, and other things. Plays a short story called The Bowman, London's Evening News. And of course, the idea of the St. George summoned up archers from Agincourt to help the British at the Battle of Mons, right? For whatever reason, many readers took the story to be true, right? Machen, even to his credit, Machen was like, whoa, this is a story I wrote. Machen swiftly published this in order to put the record straight. He, under no circumstances, a lot of people that think that this was real. This was a story I wrote. But the book became a bestseller, but people were unimpressed. Okay, many people still believed it was true. Right? Of course, there's a vision of St. George on a battlefield. They'd be like, "Stop fighting your bloody cousins. You should see the future that's coming in your homeland." Anyway, yeah. Now this is interesting. Apparently, there was a hilarious satirical magazine published by frontline soldiers in the British Army. Um, I like this. Are you a victim to optimism? You don't know? Then ask yourself the following questions. Do you suffer from cheerfulness? Do you wake up in the morning feeling that all is going well for the Allies? Do you sometimes think that the war will end within the next 12 months? We can cure you. It's like a skit or a sketch. It's kind of funny. I cannot believe that this was allowed by the British, by the military. Really, that's interesting. They printed it on an abandoned. They found a printing press. All right, and Yeeper. Of course, the magazine's name poked fun at soldiers' mispronunciation of Yeeper, which I didn't know unless someone told me either. So interesting. So what's this? This isn't your guy, it's a gal. Of course, remember in the Civil War, in the Union and Confederate armies, you have women dressing up as men, mostly to try to find their husbands and see how if they were okay. I thought that was very touching. But this one, she was a correspondent, so but she wanted to get in there. She was rejected, rightly so. So she disguised herself as a man and got some false papers. You believe this? The army was highly embarrassed. They made her swear to keep her story to herself. I would have had a shot, actually. Yeah, that would have been funny, right? Anyway, obviously I don't want to go through the whole book. Of course, camouflage, right? Interesting. I always thought it was interesting. The Stahlhelm, of course, the stormtrooper helmet. You see this design. It looks. What does it look like? It looks very modern artish, doesn't it? It looks very modernist. And you see tons of these helmets like that. So, of course, I know that this is a Q-boat, right? This one's lures the German U-boats here. I thought it was interesting here. There would be a small group called the Panic Party would theatrically abandon the vessel, leaving the remaining crew to attack the sub when it approached. Especially this one. You wouldn't think this one would have like cannons on it that could fight a sub. Sometimes one of the ship's men would wear Witham's clothing, a dress, a fetching bonnet, in an attempt to draw the Germans closer. Man, these British soldiers, they needed no excuse to dress up in drag, apparently. So, of course, in terms of camouflage, the interesting, you think of camouflage obviously for soldiers on the ground, maybe for airplanes up high, obviously the armored vehicles, which weren't really a big thing in this war, but you forget the camouflage for the boats. Okay, the distances that you're seeing these things at, these things can throw you off. It's really amazing. It's a whole subject of itself, which I'll cover at some point. We'll go. Yeah, this straight up looks like a Monty Python skit right here, right here. This looks like something from like a British comedy sketch. Literally looks like they made the photo black and white of a still of some skit. Oh, these things. Right? Apparently, these things actually were impervious to machine gun bullets. Okay, more on this later. There's an Italian film about the First World War that uses these, which is not accurate because this was an American invention. And it can actually stop machine gun bullets, but obviously, running around in these things, it was not going to happen. Oh, look at the front of the French, La Fantastique, the new tanks. They look like aliens from H.G. Right, the H.G. Wells. Remember H.G. Wells? They mentioned War of the Worlds, but remember, the Land Ironclads, one of his short stories, actually was about armored fighting vehicles, right? Anyway, we'll go. Yeah, what the hell is this? You tie a mattress to your... I don't even do that. I don't, like I said, the interesting thing comes here. Oh yeah, the Spank Orb. Remember these Sparkorb spy basket? This is on the Zeppelins. It's interesting. Like this thing was lowered through the clouds, right? In order to navigate, the guy would have a telephone. You see it in Hell's Angels by Howard Hughes, man. There's a scene with the guy in this. If you know what I'm talking about, that awesome film I will cover at some point. It was kind of funny. Crew members, right, the Germans, would volunteer because it was the only place they could safely smoke, right? Because the airship was hydrogen. And just real quick, separate from everything here, I just, the thing about photography, right, is that you're looking at people long gone from this world. An interesting device that they had here, this loader here. But I look at this woman, this British woman working for the railway, right? What a look at, like, I don't know. She's such a beautiful woman, isn't she? She just emanates, like, look at, she's like happy to have someone taking a photo of her, but she just I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a little. I hope she had a good life, man. I know that's how when you see that, you see we're all simps down inside. Right? Gotta guard against it. Because they have the right, they censor their letters, so they gave you like a special letter, like just fill in this stuff, and we won't have to censor your letter, right? Because they're gonna give away leaked military secrets, right? Or they're gonna say, hey, this don't sign up, mate. This thing sucks out here, right? That's more like it. Okay, they did that in the American army, yeah. So now we got spies. The German spies are everywhere. Actually, the Germans were never really too good. They weren't really that great at spying. Okay, although they had some high-profile, effective spies who were not German. Of course, Mata Hari, right? Mata Hari, she was executed. I like this. Beware of female spies. Women are being employed by the enemy to secure information from Navy men on the theory that they are less liable to be suspected than male spies. Beware of inquisitive women as well as prying men. I see everything, hear everything, say nothing. Concerning any matter bearing upon the work of the Navy, silence is safety. Oh, this is a U.S. poster. I had the wrong accent. Hey, Mac, beware of female spies. All right, don't even do that. So, and it's cool. There was a famous German spy, right? Germans like George Breakow on the alias Reginald Roland. I like the interesting invisible ink. Remember invisible ink? And they had these cool cameras. These are right-angle cameras, very small. So, spy media. Everyone, they thought there were German spies everywhere, like under your bed. Good for them. I'm rooting for them. You know that. Right? Anyway, go. Captured German war pigeons. Right, the carrier pigeons. Look at these poor bastards. They're probably gonna. I heard squab meat is good, but. Oh man, I think there wasn't. There's a whole. You think I would know this? There's a whole species of carrier pigeons. Carrier pigeons itself that were extinct after this war, right? Devil dogs, the Hund, Teufelhund. All coming through here. Of course, we got the ladies. Of course, they don't mention the white feather girls. Why would they do that? Right? To dress extravagantly in wartime is worse than bad form. It is unpatriotic. Man, read this. And you always forget the Boy Scouts originated in Britain. I always think these is American. Oh, the mad brute. Oh, sorry, look how cool the Germans looking. They make them look cool. And you get the propaganda. Oh, New Germany. Can you imagine Australia? You guys be German now. Now you'll be better off, huh? I like that. They named Tasmania Kaiserman. Melbourne is Zeppelinburg. Oh, man. I like this. I like this here. Apparently, the Germans left this for the British. Dear Tommy, you are quite welcome to what we are leaving. When we stop, we shall stop and stop you in a manner you won't appreciate. Signed, Fritz. I like to tell you. You guys all remember this, right? The book, the American Tank Corps. Right? Like, men of Hull, get a move on. Enlist at City Hall. Have you seen videos of Hull now in Yorkshire? All these cities, these guys, can you imagine? You're busy getting killed over there, and look at your cities now. So now, of course, the whole food thing. Now, I'm going to take this a little personal. Right, this is beer stein, a British beer bottle. Right, beer wasn't officially allowed in the British front line, but bottles were smuggled in. Officers were allowed to drink, however. Oh, great! So meanwhile, the German soldiers. Hey, Tommy, the German soldiers, they have a beer ration. Yeah. And of course, the brewers fight back because you had David Lloyd George, right, the Lib Dems guy, future prime minister, was a temperance man. So you have all this, like in America, the war, right? The war was used as an excuse for temperance, not only the right for women to vote, wonderful, but to not allow you to drink. Okay, this is what this war's helped, right? So the brewers fight back, right? An advertisement from the Brewers Society, right? There's nothing to put in the place of beer, a necessity to the strength of Britain. Hey, they're right. I agree with them. We've won on beer before. We'll win with beer again. You bet your ass. You believe this? So this is what this war does. The wars, they empower the people, to control your life more and more. Because the British Army rum jar, look at that. Now you know they had good rum, man. I'll tell you. Don't take alcoholic drinks on Mondays, man. Shut up. All right. All around this, I don't want to see everything. It's like, hey, look, it's fag day. Hey, thumbs up to fag day. You got a fag? It's fags. Look at these fags over here with the. I'm talking about the cigarettes. Me and Arkham Reporter. I showed him this. We were very angry. They're lying as usual. The propaganda. They're lying to you. Eat more cottage cheese. Now, cottage cheese is a great food item if you're trying, but it supplies more protein than cow, pork. Man, hell no. You are lying. You'll need less meat, right? Cottage cheese and meat. Okay, right. So they're lying to you. Forget us. What is this? Oh, dairy. From drama and drag to egg and spoon camp races. So now, of course, the Aquarius concert party. You can imagine, right? The transformation from male to female can be very convincing. Oh, this one, the pantomime, right? Because listen, all the modern associations aside, right? Drag, right? Pantomime. Yeah, it was like a gag. Like 90% of the guys doing this were straight guys, and it was supposed to be a gag. It was part of drag was something. It's part of a comedy act. Okay, now of course there's something very different. So it's just funny. And you got other things here. Look at it. This is like a war. Look at a war game, a board game, war tactics. Or can Great Britain be invaded? Know who? Yeah. Here's a chair game for the wet family war tactics. Right. So this is an interesting early war game. All right. Hey, let me round this out. You got more. Actually, these are Canadians. That's interesting. What are you gonna do? There's no women around, so let's just keep it at that, right? Of course, the officers, they're gonna get to the women, right? The English-speaking hostesses to meet the needs of British servicemen. Yeah, I bet you it's not the lads. It's the officers who are gonna get to meet these women. So, of course, as usual. And hey, fish. I like this to round this out, man. What a great book. Get this. I mean, it's right. Soldiers fishing. One is using a rifle as a fishing rod. The other a corkscrew. I remember as a kid, we used to make fishing rods out of wire hangers and spools of thread. Right. Animal activists slick away. Unsupporting soldiers sometimes fish with hand grenades. Well, yeah, hell yeah. Why not? Makes sense. So, of course, this quaint old days of England. Yeah, this was great. This was fun. I hope you had fun too. I don't know. You gotta find fun where you can find it, right? And when you're dealing with the Great War, huh?